Welcome back, everybody, to your favorite movie podcast where we dissect, debate, and dish out cinematic hilarity. And probably a few bad jokes. Your host tonight, Brian. Yeah, well, Jim Tobelson's a fucking chatty Cathy. JJ.
What is it, Grandpapa?
Steve.
The greatest beard in all the world!
And Alyssa.
It's frustrating. Oh, it's so frustrating.
Right along each week as we dissect, debate, and try to find out the best movie night movie. Here on Too Much Movie Night. Yo, what's up? Get ready, everybody. Get your steins. Get ready for this wild ride we have through the ultimate beer drinking showdown. Today we dive into the hilarious high-octane world of Beerfest. Welcome in, everybody.
Do y'all hear it?
Oh, the bubble.
The bubble!
The bubble of Budalolics or whatever he says.
It's the bubble!
Wait a second. I cannot believe that JJ, Steve, you guys did not choose the code that I chose.
I can't either.
Thought for sure. Well, I was like, that's the bottom of the list.
Okay, because I automatically assumed that Brian was going to make that a sound clip and just randomly throughout we would hear this like, it's so frustrating.
So frustrating.
So frustrating.
The bubble!
Oh no!
So actually, JJ had my first one. That was my first.
Was it?
What is it, Grandpapa? That was my first one, but my backup one was a fucking Will Forte. Wow.
Amazing.
I
Amazing
almost went with Cherry's. I'm gonna break your dick off.
Same. I had that on mine.
I was that close, but I was like, I am not gonna hit that because I know Brian will make fun of me for that one.
Man,
That'll be a soundbite for later.
This one just had so many things to pick, like we were talking earlier, just like so much to pick from. It's like, wow, there was just almost infinitely quotable.
This being our Misfits week, absolutely a group of misfits in this movie, but oh my goodness, I don't know another movie that truly hits that movie night feel. What other reason do you have to watch this unless a mindless night that you're going to sit around the TV or whatever and watch this movie? It's so, as we've been saying, it's quotable, immensely quotable. Came out in 2006, so I feel like it can still spread around the generations a little bit. It's not too old to move a movie. Yeah, it's a little dated, little out there, but damn, this movie hits so well. I love this freaking movie.
Yeah. You know, I was thinking about that too. I mean, I don't know if this movie is dated, and or anything. There's not much in this movie that sort of dates it. It's just, I don't know. It's just fucking hilarious. And I think that it goes across so many different spectrum, even like over to Germany, and all the travel and everything else that happens. And, it was just, it was hilarious.
Well, Steve, as you dive into it, tell us, what was your first time watching it?
Oh my God. I have no idea. Right. So this was 2006. This came out. It wasn't right away that I watched this. It was probably a couple of years later. But it was like, I don't know. I don't even remember where I ran across it. Maybe it was some kind of streaming service. But when I saw it, it was like, and I knew that the guys that did Super Trooper, right, that they did Super Trooper, and I saw that they had another movie. So I was like, all right, well, let me look at this one. And I was like, oh my God. It's just, that was kind of but I don't remember when it was, but it was a while ago. And, but still a few years after it did come out.
JJ, what about you?
Oh man, I've been racking my brain all week as to what was the first time I saw this? Like, I know I was 16 when it came out. Like, I was in the early stages of consuming alcohol. I was a degenerate in high school, yes. But like, I'm trying to think, like, this movie, I don't think that it ever had like a first viewing for me. It's just always been in my brain. It lives rent free.
It's like deja vu when you watch it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd have to say that's kind of where it is with me too. I know I saw Super Troopers first, probably about 2006. That was my freshman year of high school, so I think that's about the time that I remember being introduced to Super Troopers, so I saw this shortly after it. But again, no initial memory, just the memory of this movie almost being just imprinted on me since high school. College, this was a mainstay. This was always on. This was a background movie. This was parties getting shut down. We're not driving home, so we're going to, park it in the living room, watch this movie as we fall asleep. Just greatness. So many great memories associated with this movie. Alyssa, tell us. This your first
Well,
view?
that's a great segue into that's an insult to our relationship. I know that's outside the pod, but man, this is a college pregame movie for me. And I think the first time I saw it was like over the span of a couple months, just choppy, because it was just the movie that was turned on before we left the house to go adventure out. And it just gets the party going. You're like, yeah, like they're not that drunk. They're not that drunk. And it's just, you get excited. And you're like, okay, I want to go play games or go have fun or be competitive or I don't know. And then also, this is another lifetime ago. No, it inspired so many people's versions of Beer Olympics is what we called it. But these drinking competitions, right? So it can be DIY, it can be official, like anyone can make their own Beerfest. And at that phase of life, I was like, this is fun. I'm here for this. I love it. So I'm glad that was my first viewing of it. Because I think if I would have seen this in high school, I would have been like, whatever. Because kind of.
Oh, go ahead. Do you want to finish?
No, go ahead.
I think it was like, for me, and when this movie came up, because it was almost not that I've forgotten about this movie because I love it, but me and JJ did this, like the thing, like it's frustrating, and I was just like, and I love that because I would always say that to people and nobody would ever really get it or understand it. And so when JJ did that, I was like, oh yeah, I was like, man, it's such an underrated movie that, it's almost like
Frustrating.
I don't know if this movie has a cult following or not, but it should.
Yeah.
If it doesn't. If it doesn't, it should, because there's so many people who just don't understand where that is frustrating came from, or they just don't get it where it comes from. And oh my God, it's like so much of when I do that, people just like look at me like I'm crazy.
Yeah,
It's the hard puppet hands, the stiff fingers. They're like, what the hell is he doing?
But you have to do that. You have to do
I know.
that.
I get
like,
it.
if you just sit here like no hands and you go, it's like,
hey, weirdo. But when you do that makes it all better.
Because I'm not gonna lie, Alyssa, like when you were doing your opening quote, I couldn't see your hands. I didn't know what was going on, and I didn't like it.
Gosh,
I
didn't think
like
about
it.
that. Yeah, no, it loses its zing. It's not as. I get it.
Well, let's keep the zing rolling with this trailer so we get to number one. Here we go.
Let's do it.
There is a sport where teams from around the world
Looks like we got the Brits in round one.
gather to compete.
We're gonna put the skitters in your Alan Wickers, you plonker.
Do you know what he's saying?
Beerfest.
Let the games begin.
We've been training for a super secret international beer drinking competition, and we're taking on the Germans for national pride.
Yeah, why don't you go back home to your strip malls and drink your Zimas and Smirnoff Ices? Oh yeah, oh yeah.
A competition
If we're gonna drink like the Germans, we're gonna need a little help.
where revenge
They want a war? We'll give a war they won't believe.
is best served ice cold.
I'm better when I'm drunk.
From the geniuses who brought you the phenomenon, Super Troopers.
Miss Hops, Miss Barley, Miss Yeast. I think I'll stay away from that one.
Comes the motion picture event of the year.
It's the greatest beer in all the world.
I wish it were winter. We could make it into ice blocks and skate on it. And then melt it in the springtime and drink it.
See you in the next round, boys. We are going to spank you.
A movie that could only be called
Beerfest!
Now, you guys don't want to be my teammates, do you?
You boys are a team. You must train for Beerfest. Here, eat. We sleep better when I lose sausage with me.
Ho, ho, ho! Gotta get you out of those wet clothes and into a dry martini.
What?
I said, oh, martini?
Get away from me.
You like it rough?
I like that. I like that very much.
Sweet creamery butter.
Beerfest.
Oh, that's good.
Any resemblance to any persons, places, or events in this movie are purely coincidental and, frankly, quite sad. If you attempt anything you see in this film at home, you will die. No Germans were harmed during the making of this film. Please drink responsibly and treat all women with respect.
At their German-born grandfather, Johann von Wolfhausen's funeral, brothers Jan and Todd Wolfhausen learn they must travel to Munich during Oktoberfest to scatter his ashes. They accidentally cause a brawl in an Oktoberfest tent and are led to Beerfest, an underground drinking competition. There, they discover that the von Wolfhausens are relatives who angrily deny the family connection, accusing Johann of stealing a valuable beer recipe. Jan and Todd challenge the Germans but are humiliated, and their grandfather's ashes are poured on them.
All right.
It's so frustrating.
So frustrating.
Where do we begin with this movie? I guess we start at the funeral with the priest in the back doing some quarters, because it was an intense opening scene. Like I almost forget every time I watch it that that's how we're opening it up. And no, it's just a casual game of quarters.
Well, it's not really casual because they're about to like kill him. He was gonna break him open for like basic quarter sharking him. Is that a term? Quarter sharking?
Yeah, quarter sharking. It's like, are you kidding me? Like, we're in the basement of the church and you're about to kill this dude.
I think the best part is you get out of that and you're like, okay, he's like a minister or something, and I'm expecting a wedding. And there's a fucking funeral. And you're like, oh my gosh, why does that feel more wrong? That this was your pre-funeral activities versus pre-wedding activities.
And that's your granddad's funeral, and you're down there with the priest.
Oh, man. Yeah.
It was a great start. But then to see Donald Sutherland in there, like as Joe, I didn't know what to.
I hate that so much.
What do you mean?
I just don't like him. Like, okay, well, first off, I love the fact that he's wearing, full
the
on
lederhosen.
Lederhosen while he's also has a hospital gown underneath. But like just him chugging beer and burping grosses me out so fucking much.
It
like
does me
everybody
too.
else in the movie does it, and I'm like perfectly fine with it. But with Donald Sutherland, when he's like, oh, I'm like, oh. God.
There's something about him too. You're like, he's gonna die this way, and he's just, it's like, ugh, it's just sick. Like, how could you do that? I don't know. It's too hot outside, and I'm like, I can't imagine drinking a beer right now. Like, it's way too freaking hot for that. Like, you're in a hospital bed. How? But German roots. That's how we're different.
German roots.
I tell you, it took me. I don't remember. I don't remember if I caught this the first time. But it took me a little bit to realize that was their granddad, and he was calling her mom, and because I was like, wait, he's as old as she is.
Yeah, Alyssa had to be. She was like, "Wait a second, is this right?" Kind of walking through, making sure the timeline was there. I was like, "Yeah, that's what it is." But shh, don't pick it apart.
Because then where are their parents? Jan and Todd's. I'm like,
right.
Do they not exist?
Rehab. A lot of drinking in this family.
I guess.
Yeah, they never really talk about their parents, right?
It wasn't in the budget,
There's only so much to get to here.
Yeah.
Actually, or they may not know who it is because Gam Gam was such a whore that.
Poor Gam Gam got a bad rap.
Gam Gam. She'd be fun to hang out with. Like, I bet she's a party animal.
Oh, yeah, back in the day.
If you can afford it.
You get a little sausage in her.
Little Z job.
But yes, All right. So Schnitzen, Witzel, Winsel, Vincel, whoever. Schnitzen.
Yeah, I pulled that guy's name from the show doc because I couldn't pull it off. I was like,
Scheisenweissen?
Nope. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
So they have to go meet him, which is, I didn't even get what his role is. I wish, besides like showing them where Beerfest, but I mean, why was, I didn't understand like his whole relationship.
Yeah, they made him almost seem like it was going to be more important than he was, or like he was going to have a bigger like role within the whole thing, but no. He was just the messenger, which we see multiple messengers get shot here. Clearly, I don't know if it's like a German thing. They're not a fan, maybe?
They don't believe in second chances?
Snitches get stitches. I don't.
Schnitzes?
Schnitzels get schnitzels. I don't know. I don't know how to do that.
No. Fail.
Swinging a mess.
No. Either or. But yeah, I mean, he is super serious. And then all of a sudden, you know, they walk through this creepy warehouse thing. You've got like, you know, what is that, like a Clockwork Orange happening?
That's exactly what I was thinking. Is like some kind of Clockwork Orange bullshit happening.
And then like all of a sudden, this like, you know, the sliding little window. Like, what is it past that?
Yeah, that was another one of my.
And then yeah, he just starts yelling, and it's like, what the fuck? I love it.
That is one thing I appreciate about this movie is, now we watched the unrated version this time around, which forgot how much more is in that. So it's like, what, a 2-hour movie? But there are things that they just go straight to it. Like, love that we started at the funeral, and then she's like, hey, you're going on a trip. And all they do is show 2 seconds of a plane taking off, and then we're there. Like, thank you. Thank you for not wasting time on
getting on the plane, sitting
it's a Beerfest movie.
Yeah.
We don't need to give extra attention to that. It wouldn't matter.
Right. And we instantly get to see the loser Americans there at Oktoberfest. You know, they instantly just like ruin the mood. I'm like, yep, there it is.
My question is, why don't we have like a beer drinking song like other countries do? You know, you hear like see those Aussie guys.
99 bottles of beer on the wall. 99 bottles of beer.
That's so embarrassing.
That's embarrassing. But I mean, with Brian says especially. But
do you want some sort of like?
Well, no, kind of like a roll out the barrel, like a polka song. Roll out the barrel, we'll have a barrel of fire. You know, I don't know. Why can't we like make up an American drink besides like, I got friends in low places and shit like that, you know?
That good, Sweet Caroline.
Oh, that's a good one,
I guess that and like Journey, what's it? Don't Stop Believing.
That's just
lame as shit, though.
I know.
Because I think that in America, our drinking's a problem, whereas these other countries, it's their culture. Maybe that's why. Like
it's
they
just
say,
better.
we just train them from kids. Like, I don't know. It's just a different part of their lifestyle. But I agree. Where's our cool thing? We don't have that.
So
frustrating.
So frustrating.
God, it's frustrating. It is. I mean, every time like we go to Busch Gardens, we got to sit in the fest house there at Busch Gardens and sing the German drinking songs. Like, oh, why don't we have an American one? Like, just a fun.
Right. Listeners, let us know.
Yeah.
What is our American drinking song? And even
Help
if
us
it's
write
just
one.
for you and your crew of people, what is it? I want to know. Depends on who I'm out with, but mine might be the song My Humps. It's come out on Ladies' Night, and it just becomes a song.
It's come out on Ladies' Night.
Those humps come out. It's terrible.
Whoa! Watch your mouth.
Not the only thing coming out on Ladies' Night. What?
Okay. I am innocently singing karaoke. Okay.
All right. So they caused the brawl there. You know, the whole like tripping on the hot cheese. But I've never been to Oktoberfest, but holy shit, does it look fun.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I've been to
Beer and
Munich
cheese?
a couple of times. Munich is fucking awesome. Anyway, I couldn't imagine it during Oktoberfest. Just wow.
You know, we should have flown out there to record this live in Germany. Damn, if that's not a miss.
If those sponsors would come through a little bit.
Sign that check, big boy. Let's go.
On that note, make sure you're liking, subscribing, and sharing the podcast everywhere. That's how we grow.
Please. But I love the. Go ahead, bro.
I was going to say the games we got at the at Beerfest was iconic. You know, like Alyssa said, this inspired us in college to create our own beer Olympics, to bring in. But so I'm aware of all of these games. I know we've tried them, but it's almost impossible to have drinking games where most of them involve chugging. You're trash by the end of it. Like, you have to integrate way more games that keep you active. We did Dizzy Bat and stuff like that. But like that monkey chug, there's no way in hell we were pulling that off.
I'm not coordinated enough to do that sober, much less like 15 beers in. Hell no.
Right. And then the long pour, all you're doing is wasting beer. I'm just saying.
100%. 100%.
You're just wasting beer. It's not going anywhere in there near their mouth, and if it does, they just get.
That's what it was. We tried it before, standing on the back of a tailgate of a truck, pouring it into somebody's mouth. But all it was, you poured for 5 seconds, and then you threw it right up their nose just to be an ass. You know, like, we can't be trusted. We can't be trusted.
No trust.
Oh, man. But the way they get rid of them, throwing the ashes of the grandfather on these guys, like, cross the line, even for villains?
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I think so.
Yeah.
That was a little much. Okay, you already mocked them because they're Americans, not in their own country, and now like, oh, when they call Gam Gam, they're like,
they were so excited because we're cousins. They're hugging.
I know, right? Imagine being like, we get to meet our German cousins. Like, we didn't even know that we were connected there, and they're like, you pieces of shit, we hate you.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
They shoot the guy that brought you there and then fucking start yelling at you and everything else. It's like, damn. It's like, we're just so excited to meet our cousins. But cousins got a hug. But yeah, it was just like, fuck, that was just so terrible. I felt bad for them, because those guys were just dicks. I get why they're dicks. I understand because I can kind of see their point of view, in a lot of ways.
They stole the best beer in Germany. Absolutely.
That's the greatest beer in all the world. Yeah, they stole that shit. And so, or their grandfather stole it, or I don't even know who stole it. Did the grandfather
So I
steal
guess
it?
The grandfather.
Well, I think he accidentally did. He took the doll, unknowing that it was in there. Right?
But he said his dad gave him. He said his dad gave him Bobo. So maybe,
he did.
So maybe his dad actually put it inside Bobo and gave it to him and said, "All right, you guys got to go."
But his dad was the
Baron.
The Baron. So
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And then he just figured his son was brighter than that, and it wouldn't take 60 years for them to uncover the recipe.
I'll be 100% honest. I have never thought that deep into this movie. Like,
I think I've tried to once, but yeah, 100%.
Neither has the rest of our audience, and that's why we're here.
Exactly.
That's why we.
I've never dove deep down to thinking okay, wait, how did he steal it? I'm like, oh yeah, he fucking stole it. Like, that's cool. Let's keep watching the movie.
Somebody stuck a fucking beer recipe inside the neck of a doll of a wooden Pinocchio
that looked like Jigsaw.
I just always think it's so frustrating.
That's frustrating.
So frustrating.
Oh my goodness.
But the ugliest fucking doll in the world, right?
Ugly.
It's like,
I love it when you see it in the funeral and
yeah. He's like, oh, Bobo.
Todd's like, he jumps back.
Say goodnight, Bobo. Or say goodbye, Bobo. Goodbye,
That's so
Bobo.
creepy. That thing is haunted.
Oh my god. All right, let's head to 2. All right. Determined to get revenge, Jan and Todd return to Colorado to assemble an American Beerfest team with their college friends, Phil Landfill Crundle, Charlie Finkelstein, and Barry Batternath. Phil is known for his binge drinking, Charlie is a Jewish scientist, and Barry is a male prostitute. They do not inform Grant Gam Gam about their plans. During training, they discover Johann was actually the rightful heir to the family brewery in Bavaria. Using the rediscovered recipe, they brew Schnitzengigel beer, whose delicious taste fill them with awe. Their intense training sessions and team bonding experiences prepare them for the ultimate showdown against the Germans.
Who's Barry Badgernath? Who's Barry Badgernath? Who's Barry Badgernath? We should put him on our team.
Ooh, well, we should probably put him on our team. That scene alone is, I'm going to say it, I know multiple times, but one of my favorites is going to pick up Barry.
But I fucking hated the whole Barry thing. Like especially like now I've only seen the unrated version. I don't remember seeing the non-unrated version. But man, that whole stuff with him living under the bridge and those other male prostitutes, it is so uncomfortable.
$1 to look at it. $2 for me to look at it. $3 to touch it. $4 if I touch my toes and you look at it. I don't know. It's just so fucking... That's just not how I've ever seen him. He's the leader of the crew when it comes to Super Troopers. You know, this guy's the one that directed it. He would think he's the one in charge, and yet he's just the broken one falling all apart right here. It's
the worst fucking character out of them all. It's terrible. It's no, I don't mean he's like the fucking he's the trashiest.
Yeah,
that's what I mean.
I gotcha.
As far as that goes, but. Yeah, he was great, but it was so fucking, it was uncomfortable. But the part really got me was fucking with Landfill and Fink. They're right in the fucking back there. You know, for one thing, like, he won't fucking, like, move over. He's like, I like the middle. You want to sit on that side?
We had a buddy in college like that.
But then when that skinny dude goes and licks the window and shit like that, but I don't know. I had to, like, rewind it. Whenever they're standing outside and like Phil's behind Fink and he like grabs his ass he just immediately points at the other guy. He like grabs Fink's ass and like points. I was fucking like, wait, did they like? I had to fucking rewind that again to see it. He's fucking with Fink and then he pushes Fink into him.
Which I have to say too, Fink. I had no idea it was the guy from Super Troopers.
That's the same.
It does not look like him at all. Like, completely. I was like, oh man, they missed that guy and they brought in him. Maybe something happened. I looked it up. It was like, oh no, sure enough. It's, do you boys like Mexico? You know, that guy from Super Troopers.
Shoot me in the dick. Whatever it is.
Yeah. Testing out the old metal cups, huh?
Oh my gosh.
They're cheeky and fun. His are just sad and tragic, which makes them not shenanigans at all, really. Evil shenanigans. Sorry, I'm done.
Same dude. But yeah, he's like
shocking
super fucking talented. Yeah, to see him as that guy, you know, as Fink versus the other, you know, from Super Troopers. Yeah,
the cigarette. When they go get Fink and he finishes the frog and he pulls out the cigarette, y'all got 15 minutes. Alyssa's like, I feel dirty.
I've never noticed that part before, and I laughed.
That
so
was
much.
It's just the whole like, and then he stops and like, oh sorry. that kind of made me feel dirty too.
The whole like, okay, because this is this group, Broken Lizard, right? They like, I'm like, I want to know what they were doing when they wrote that. Why did he need to be that kind of scientist? Like, there's a lot of other weird, dirty things that you could have come to. How do you get to pleasuring frogs? One of the scenes, this is a random thought, but for science, there was, we watch everything with subtitles. Yep. And when he was doing the very fast, intense action on the frog, the subtitle was like, frog groaning with pleasure or something. It was like, oh, see, now that even makes it dirtier. Dude. Oh,
I love that. That's funny as shit. No, I've always wondered, like, why does he jack off frogs? But it's just fucking hilarious. And they were probably just really high whenever they made that.
I
Yeah.
do
I'm
love
sure.
that when you look at the writers, it does say Broken Lizard. Like, this was a complete collab of the 5 of these guys writing it together. And you can kind of feel that in some of these movies where, like, you're kind of stretched in different directions, where you can tell the humor of these guys really trying to put their imprint on it. The opening scene, though, or the opening training scene, where you've got these guys around a keg, just a handful. Honestly, it was my first time with the keg. First time I ever had a college keg party. It was maybe 10 guys. It was just a handful of us. We're just like, oh, we're gonna finish the keg. We're gonna do it. It's the end of the night. I was usually one of the last ones to go down. We're at my house. I'm walking around, making sure the doors are closed. Nobody's gonna like pass out incorrectly. And like I see JJ, he's there, snuggled up in the couch. I'm like, all right, man, going to bed. He's like, how do we do on the keg? We get pretty close. And I do the same thing. I go to lift it. Oh shit! Nope, we didn't even dent that motherfucker.
Yeah.
So we drink flat beer for the next day because we're in college. We didn't have any money. We had to finish that.
We spent all of our money on the keg combined.
So that's when we
Yikes.
learned to get Angry Orchard kegs, because the next day when it was flat, it was just apple juice. Doesn't need to be carbonated.
That was a good loophole.
Right? Fucking loved that one.
Oh, God. That's so crazy.
But yeah, that I love how fucking hungover they are when they wake up the next morning. Everybody's just like, "Oh my God, this is terrible." Like, yeah, definitely
Like day
need to train
one.
up on that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, they're obviously like in this movie doesn't look like they're young 20s. Like it looks like they're
Early.
So
older.
it says that like later in the movie that Jan is 33.
At least Jan's 33. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, I'm not 33 yet, but I'm not far from it, and I can't fucking imagine a worse punishment or means of torture than having to train drinking for a year. Like, this is the volume of alcohol that they consume. I'm like, how does that physically fit in your body? How do you not have a catheter hooked up that's just running like 24/7?
That's what I was thinking like the entire time. I was like, I wonder how much sleep they lose from having to get up to take a piss in the middle of the night. Like,
Or how many times do they piss their pants and they just have like a pee couch? It's like, if you pass out, like go to the pee.
Steve, you laugh. We had a buddy in college who had a pee recliner. His roommate always put him in that recliner because he pissed the bed no matter what.
What?
Remember when we
partied at
stuck
our
him
place
on
one time?
on the trampoline?
Yeah, we stuck him on the trampoline. We're all outside, like chatting, because there's all the smokers or whatever. All of a sudden, you just hear this rush of water, like a pipe bust. No, he's laying on the trampoline face down, and just water is just gushing.
It's just gushing down.
Oh, yep. He was the urinator.
Yikes.
That's
He was like
fucking
a
horrible.
Dude was huge. He was probably 300 plus. Like, he could hold down some volume of liquid in his body. So I don't blame his bladder.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of weight on his bladder too. Either or.
Yeah. Oh man. Gotta love college.
All right, so them going to like after they like start drinking and they're having that first night, right? That they're drinking. This is where Phil or Landfill when he's like fucking around with Bobo and like just
Literally,
literally, yeah, like humping him and stuff, and
humping him.
And then like with Fink again, the he's like him and Fink are just fucking. I love the Fink like coming up to him, gonna drink in his face.
Yeah, I'm gonna chug on you real quick.
Gonna chug on you. Yeah, I was like, and I've never like, who does that? Who's gonna like chug on somebody? Have you really? Have you done
JJ,
that
raise your
before?
hand. Come on. You've done it too.
Oh, not
in
as
college.
much. Not
You
as much.
chug
as
on
other
your buddy?
people. I was always like I was very bad at chugging. Like I couldn't chug as fast as everybody else, so I didn't really go do that as much as other people. My roommate and
Yep.
one of my
That
other
was our
roommates
true
did.
German that we hung out with. Our buddy Wolfgang. He was the chugger. He was our landfill.
Yeah.
He was 100% our landfill in our group.
But I do love.
Wolfgang's.
I will say Fink's little all of his little Jewish jokes that he drops throughout the entire thing that are so unnoticeable are fucking hilarious. They crack me up. Like, man, I can't believe he brews his beer. He just goes, Hebrew.
Hebrew. Yeah. Why did he brew it? Hebrew?
Yeah, there was a handful of those that I found way funnier than I felt like I should, but it hit well. You know, it just kind of slid in there just, subtly enough.
It was just so stupid,
Yeah, it's so dumb.
But so the whole thing with like Great Gam Gam, they go see because they like, okay, we need some help. So they go see Great Gam Gam. Cherry's there. Cherry, the new assistant. And, was that uncomfortable for you watching Great Gam Gam warm up the sausage?
No, I got a little. I mean,
I got a little.
Got to have some
hot and bothered.
Yeah, there was, like I said, at almost 2-hour runtime, there's a handful of these scenes that I could probably nitpick and remove out of there. Just, there was so much greatness. We didn't need all of this, and that's probably flirting on one of them there. The amount of dick jokes and old.
Yeah, but also at the same time, like it really, that's when it calls home that Gam Gam is a whore, and that Ram's pissed.
It did kind of tie that together, because the guys are like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Now these things, we're seeing them differently. These are not just family traditions. These are whorish activities.
Yeah.
Can we go back for a second? And I know this is like talking about when they woke up the day after drinking, but I have the movie next to me and was reminded when Landfill passes out in front of the fridge and he has an entire damn ham. And his wife is like, hang in there. She's doing CPR and he's like, ham. Like, oh.
Tell you what, Phil has a hot wife. Like,
I don't know how.
Phil's doing all right for himself.
I don't know how he scored that one. And it reminded me of, I want to say like something like It's Always Sunny or something somehow. The guy that, anyway, it was just like, this doesn't make sense and I don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not rocking a Coors can. It's a Foster's down there, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Oh my God. He and Barry were my favorite because then Barry wakes up naked with blood all over his face.
Not
to
again.
The dead deer.
That's his first words.
Not again.
Were those necessary scenes? No, but am I glad they sprinkled them in? Yes. I would have
100%.
traded the grandma sausage scene to keep those in for sure.
They go to the college party or the high school party.
Yeah, the party.
To put their practice into.
Yeah, we got to go because then they go. Gam Gam introduces them to the fucking Ram's piss, right?
Yeah, Ram's piss. They're sitting on the roof. That reminded me of college,
right?
Yeah, we're
Not
drinking
the
on
Ram
the roof.
piss.
Drinking Ram
Yeah.
Oh,
drinking on the roof reminded me of college.
Right,
But
bouncing
yeah,
a
then
beer
the
pong
Rams
table
piss.
up on the roof.
But I mean, I will say that is one of the most quotable things because it's just randomly, like especially at work or something. Like somebody will like take a drink, and something be like, "Oh man, what is this?" I'll just be like, "Ram's piss," and people look at me like, "The fuck?" And I'm like, "Yeah, never mind. If you don't know, you can't afford it." So just move on.
JJ, the amount of like one-liners that you throw out in The Office, if people don't know what they're from, you might be looking like a big old weirdo.
Oh, they think I'm a weird fucking Texan, like 100%. They do not
I love
understand half of my shit. And I'm like, fuck it, it's a Texas thing. And I just move on. And they go, okay.
That's a Texas thing.
Like, yeah, that's fine. That explains it.
That's awesome.
That's right. If you got to ask me to explain it, you can't afford it.
Right.
But the college party, I mean, there's definitely some memorable things from that one with the strikeout or the knockout.
Yeah, the strikeout. Yeah,
strikeout.
Yeah. That was
Bumper.
fucking crazy. I couldn't imagine doing that, But I would have done it the opposite.
Oh man, loved.
But I would have done the strikeout the opposite way, right? As far as like, take the hit, but then drink the shot and then drink, then
Then
chug the
chug.
beer, right? You don't want to drink the beer, then chug the beer, then drink the shot. Fuck that. You got to drink the shot, then chug the beer. That would seem to be better.
Oh, I'm
mix
thinking
them
after
together.
the shot, you might gag, and then the smoke's gonna come out, and I
Yeah,
don't
but
know.
you're chasing that shot down with something that's not fucking terrible, depending on.
What kind of shot it is?
Yeah.
That just looked so intense. I'm like, okay.
That looked
I
fucking
love
intense.
it how he's like, it's not bad at all.
It's not that
Yeah.
bad.
And then just sinks down to the ground. and then the cops are fucking called, and everybody scatters. And Jan's like, holy shit, like ducking down. He's like, aren't you like 40? And he's like, 33.
That's when we find out he's 33.
Hey,
And then they got-
that's the worst charge. Supplying a minor is way worse than a
Oh,
minor
God,
in
yeah.
possession.
Yeah, true
So like,
that.
I don't blame him there. We went to very few house parties after we all hit 21, just because that was the first time. Like, I'm not getting a contributing, ticket.
You're out there checking IDs. Are you fucking over 21? Are you over 21? It's like,
I went to I got invited to a birthday party, and I was 22 or 23, and I took a 12-pack, and I carried that 12-pack in my hands the whole time.
You thought he was gonna say 12-year-old, didn't you? We all did. You're like, well, bitchy, you're wrong.
Just throw up everywhere.
JJ, this is
No.
recorded.
Not at all.
Okay, so you're
Definitely
23.
not.
You
Last
got a
name is
12-pack of
not.
beer.
Last name is not Epstein. I do not do that.
selling a 12-pack. Okay.
Yeah.
You're pounding it down.
You're
Got it.
pounding a
But anyway.
12-pack.
Anyway, the whole the party gets busted, and like I was just hanging out, like it was with a guy that I worked with at the barbecue restaurant, but I'm just like sitting there like drinking my beer, and the cops bust in, and they're like, anybody who's over 21 on this side of the room, and there's like 6 of us, and then all these other people are like underage, and the cop's like, who bought the beer? And I was like, I have a 12-pack. I'm going to just go home now. I've drinking 3 out of this 12-pack. I am leaving. And the cop was like, have a good night. And I was like, thank God. Oh, no. Terrifying.
Yup.
Gosh.
Don't play that game.
That, you know, I'm glad that we saw this little them going to a college party because Landfill, he set the tone for it. Like he walks in, right? He's got his fucking zipped up.
He's
vest.
fucking
He's like,
swagging.
that shimmy when you're walking through a
yeah.
house party, that little like penguin walk that you got, and you're like,
and
hey,
he's just fucking like
fucking
nodding,
party
like
crowd.
looking. Mm-hmm.
right? And then
Ooh, the
they're
party
like playing the Never Have I Ever, and they're like, mess around with Coach so and so, and he's like,
You see Jay over there or
Like-
Barry over in the corner.
You like see him, he's like, what the fuck?
Barry's got
too?
no room to judge or make a reaction.
yeah,
to
he's
that.
got no room to
Right.
judge anybody.
But then we see Landfill with his hood on, like tied,
Oh.
and he's just jumping around like a little like dolphin.
I love the
loved
fucking the
him.
head shake. He was my fucking favorite. Like just
The
the,
intense.
just the fucking movement. Yeah, I was like, oh god, that's fucking funny.
I
And,
want to know. I want to know how much money the Schnitzel house or whatever,
Schnitzengiggle.
or how much that just restaurant brings in for them to afford that big of a brewery setup in the dusty ass old barn with a barrel that didn't have a lid on it.
And enough where they can drink nonstop for a year straight too.
Well,
Yeah.
So that's their mash barrel. The mash barrels don't have lids on them, right? Anyway, that's just where the mash is being made. So
In a barn with a dirt floor that you're going to serve to other customers?
well, you're still
Colorado.
going to distill all
That's
of that
not
shit out.
OSHA
You're still going
compliant.
to, you're still going to clean all that stuff.
Almost like to segue us into this next, I think I'm reading this next part. We go from their training to the Germans training.
Yes.
Right. And then we see them get their delivery
Go
of the
ahead.
bottle.
We should probably go to
So-
3 now for Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah, can we just go to 3 already? I've been waiting.
The German team, receiving a bottle of Schnitzengigel, goes to America to reclaim the recipe. Following a confrontation between the Wolfhausens and Jan and Todd, The Germans forge evidence to shut down the brothers' restaurant. Fink quits the team, having been fired due to poor performance at the lab. Meanwhile, Landfill catches Great Gam Gam's caretaker, Cherry, stealing the beer recipe. He overwhelms her in a fight, but is pushed into a vat of beer and drowns. Minutes later, Jane discovers Landfill's body. Thinking Landfill committed suicide, the team decides to disband. At Landfill's funeral, Great Gam Gam reveals she knew about Beerfest and motivates the team. Barry reconsiders and rejoins. Landfill's twin brother Gil offers to join the team.
Man,
This
there's
is
a
where
lot
we
that
get
happened.
to, right? But we're getting closer to what we want to see, what we're prepping for, right? The competition.
But I think a lot of shit happens in this segment, right? So
Which is-
the schnitz and giggles and Barry getting fucking hammered and hooking up with Cherry and
It was kind of funny you brought up right before we switched over talking about like the turning point in the movie. This movie gave us several. Like Barry leaving could have been that big turning point that broke up the band and we get it back together. Fink losing his job, as we get into it, Landfill's death. There were so many different options that they could have chose. And what did they do? They said, instead of taking this path, this one or this, we're going to go down all of them and converge them into one central.
We're gonna have
I
a
like them all,
tornado
but we
of getting fucked.
yeah,
everybody's
they're
gonna have
truly.
issues.
Because that's where what happens. So they had the schnitz and giggle. Things were going good. They were fucking like rocking and rolling. They were drinking beer. The schnitz and
The
giggle
German
pub.
sub. The German sub that shows up to shut down the boys' tavern. What in the hell?
The U-boat that's in the little pond.
Yeah, the U-boat that ends up in fucking Colorado.
What?
Like, how did a fucking U-boat get to Colorado? What?
And that's what I mean. Like, there's these little bits. Like, we could have omitted that entire. Granted, it was fun, but what were we doing? What are we doing here, fellas?
Do you know why it was in there though? Do y'all have any
We just
idea?
watched Down Periscope last week.
No.
2 weeks ago.
So, Grandpapa, Jorgen Perntrout, whatever his name is, right, is
Was
in
he
a
in the Hunt for Red October?
no. He's in another famous German U-boat movie called Das Boot, which is Das. So in German it means the boat.
The boat.
Oh,
The boat. So Das Boot in German means the boat. So he is the captain of the boat in Das Boot. So that's why when he's in there and he's like, I had a bad experience in this one of these one time, right? He's talking about the famous movie Das Boot.
I didn't realize.
yeah,
I like
never knew
that.
that.
Yeah. That's see, that's why I'm here. That's a huge tie.
Well, and thanks for that, Steve. We'll see you next week.
Huge tie-in.
And you're out of here. I'm out, Jerry. But yeah, so that's why they had the whole U-boat thing in there, was because of him. But it just happened to be, fit the whole thing,
I think that the Germans, like those guys that we see, that they're my favorite part of the movie.
Those
Like-
three
Yes.
brothers or
What
cousins.
is it? Will Forte.
Will
and who's
Forte,
the
fucking
Nat Faxon. He's the one with the kind
Yeah.
of messed up teeth. I feel horrible saying
Nate
that. so I'm not hating.
Faxon. Yeah, like Nate,
Okay.
Nate or Nat Faxon. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
And then the blonde dude, I watched Dumb and Dumber a lot when I was younger, and like he was Lloyd in that, or Harry in that.
He was
and
Harry.
knowing their normal voices and just listening to them yell and speak in German, and they're like yelling. I fucking loved it. Like, I want to see 2 hours worth of bloopers and them like having to redo the scene over and over and over again because they can't get past it. Which at the end of the movie, I enjoy. I don't know if that was just the uncut version or if all of Beerfest versions have that, but when the credits are rolling, you get to see little bloopers. And I enjoy that. If it was in theaters, I would have stayed sitting for that whole
But
time.
I think that those two guys, especially like the guys at Hammercar and Schlimmer, that they're actually German.
They're actually German, yeah. So
Yeah,
it's like, hey.
so they're actually German. So,
Which makes sense. They weren't as funny to listen to. Like it was the, this is the greatest beer in all the land. I'm like,
the greatest
ah!
beer in all the land.
Sounds like the guy from Frozen. Hee-hoo. Big winter blowout sale.
So Barry quits, and then they're sitting there
and
trying to figure out what they can do, and the news comes on, and that it's the German guys trashing their restaurant. It's like, we found a rat fetus in
the rat fetus in the beer, yeah.
And we would work long hours with no break. The pay was all right, though, but we had very extremely long hours.
They make the immigrants work long hours. But then
that was kind of perfect.
But then Fink rolls in. He gets fired, so he's sad. And then fucking
monkey frog hybrid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then landfill rolls in that his wife fucking was tired of him lying about because he couldn't tell her about Beerfest and lying and all the drinking and shit. So she takes the kids and leaves. So he's just like,
Do you know he had kids?
Like he's like,
Which
how about
kind of a sad...
how about a beer? And he was like, like whatever he needed to do to get a beer from him.
Which is kind of sad. They're at what, 3 months away?
I think they're like a month away.
Yeah, it's only a month away at this point.
Yeah.
Okay, so within the course of a calendar year, you guys have shifted your focus to drinking, and you guys have lost the job, lost your family. Like that was a pivot in the movie too.
Is that
right? Because at this point we're pretty far into the movie, like we're beyond halfway, and you're like, does everything crumble?
Is that the moral lesson, Alyssa? Would you say that's the moral lesson of the movie?
I don't know. I think there's a lot of moral lessons. Like one could be like, it's not all bad being a whore. Like Gam Gam got the family to a good place. I'm not saying that's a good lesson.
Damn.
You know what, kids? It pays to be a slut.
Out there.
It pays to be a
comedic punch, and I like how it landed.
So
you know, the whole landfill situation, I feel like that didn't necessarily need to be in the movie. Like,
why?
He came right back. It was like, right, but I had to, anyway. Go ahead.
In Germany, the team uses a wooden keg as a Trojan horse to get inside. In the finals, Cherry taunts Gil, causing him to crack, and the Germans win. Jan offers a double or nothing challenge. Fink reveals Cherry stole a low-carb strawberry beer recipe. Wolfgang kills Cherry. Fink, in a rage, coaches the team to victory as the German anchor fails to finish Das Boot by 1 drop, securing the Americans' win.
So the whole, hey, we've trained a whole year for this competition. Yeah, like, all right, we trained a whole year for this, and then the flight over, and then they get there, and they're like, where's it at? And he's like, huh? I thought you knew.
Didn't think
I was like,
ahead.
what is JJ asking here? But now I see what you mean.
Yeah, like, where do we go? It's like, oh, now we have another one of Fink's amazing college fucking experiments. Like, you just get blackout drunk, and you'll remember everything.
Let me
guess.
Hold on. Let me guess. Y'all did that in college too.
It's kind of.
No.
Kind of. There were times my buddy loses keys.
I thought you guys would have a WT story about that.
Oh, there is. There's so many.
Oh, I'm sure there's several.
The amount of times that we restart drinking the next thing, it's like, oh my god, I forgot we had the 6-pack up on the dry. You know, it's all drunk.
Random things too. Fine.
Now I remember where my car keys are.
I hid a goose under my roommate's bed. It's been 6 months.
Oh, that goose.
That goose.
Fucking gross, man.
It wasn't 6 months. It was only like a month and a half.
I don't know what y'all are talking about.
I hid a dead goose underneath my roommate's bed because
you hid.
I hid a dead goose underneath my roommate's my roommate's bed because he was an asshole and deserved it. And then he got to the point where I wanted, like, you'd walk by his room to go to the bathroom, and he'd be, like, on the computer on his bed, like, he's like, it smells so fucking bad. And I've cleaned my room, like, 20 times.
And never fucking checked under the bed?
No. Finally,
it,
stuffed like,
everything.
It started, like, the smell started creeping into my room, so I was like, dude, I can't handle it anymore. So I crawled underneath his bed, and and it was a grater. It was a big goose. And I pulled it out, and I was like, dude, I can't handle this anymore. And he was like, what the fuck is that?
He was the one that found the goose initially, wasn't he?
No, I shot it.
Okay.
He did something messed up with the goose at my apartment, and I was like, that's too much.
He brought over a dead goose to you one time. Yeah, it's a lot of dead goose.
That was a different goose thing, because this one we went hunting, and I shot it, and then
God. Yikes.
But anyway, that one.
So, I mean, we talk about, like, Brian, you said, all these little changes throughout the movie, and Jan, was it Jan or the other one, that gets drunk and leads them to Oktoberfest or Beerfest?
It's Todd. Todd gets
There you go.
hammered, and it's off of Goldschlager, which we've all been there. Don't lie.
The beer ain't touching him, but it's a fucking Goldschlager that really gets him.
Which
But
I
it's
don't
like,
understand.
what a
Like, why do they keep trying the beer? Because it's like, oh, we've been training for a drinking contest this entire year, and there's like 45 cans stacked at the table beneath it. It's like, why didn't you go to the fucking liquor
Start off with the Goldschlager. I enjoyed getting to see the gold lips on him for the rest of the scene too. Like, fucking cracked me up, man. But yeah, they find
he's stumbling around like a fucking freak with the gold lips. Just like,
I love that. He's sitting there hitting on one of the sign girls, like Miss Yeast or something like that. He's like, oh yeah, tell you, man.
But he's on a fucking mission, just like, especially, he's drunk. He's like, I know where it is now. And he is just fucking moving. Like, okay, yeah, when people are drunk, like, you can run faster,
Yeah.
Nails
when
the
you're on a
yodel
mission,
to
you're on a
T
mission. Yeah.
as well.
That
Last year's password.
And then the Trojan keg.
Again, little
Like
scenes that, like, come on, we can omit this shit.
We got to 4 yet? You read 4?
Yeah, I did that while I was
Yeah.
bathroom break.
Oh, sure.
But, like, honestly, the whole movie is them prepping for this last hoorah with Beerfest. And when that finally starts, like when the keg rolls in, there is 30 minutes left in the movie. And that is with credits. So it's like, for there to be not much that's been huge that's happened, there were, like you've been saying, a lot of little things, but it was enough to keep you, like, this goes towards slice score stuff, but it's enough to keep you engaged. Like, it's just enough to keep you interested, but it's not too deep of a storyline where you're annoyed by all the hopping around because you're wanting more information, which I liked that balance throughout this movie.
Okay, but
intense.
Let's talk about that. They're going to let the crowd decide to let the Americans play, and everybody's cheering for them. They're not going to bust a cap in their ass.
They're not.
But then
drunk.
Cherry gets the wrong beer recipe, and they just fucking shoot her. Or the other guy, the original guy, brings the 2 Americans to Beerfest. He gets shot. But
because he broke the rules, right? He broke the rules because he
so
talked about
did
Beerfest.
Todd and Jan.
I think that they have no expectations for these Americans, so they're just like, whereas other people, they do.
Stupid Americans.
Yeah.
And two, why weren't they checking out that recipe the moment it got back over there to Germany? Why is it that?
Word.
Yeah, like I feel like they should have known it was a fraud going into it.
Mm-hmm.
Low
Right.
calorie strawberry beer.
Yeah, they didn't look at it right away. That's a great point. Great point.
And
Brian.
when she's about to get shot, she's like, "Yeah, no, you wanted me to lose weight, eat some fruit, strawberry, or like low carb." It's like,
But then, and then she's getting hauled away. She's like, "Where are the Africans? Somebody, what the
Africans in here?
Oh, Cherry.
I need somebody to come and help me. Where are the Africans?"
Yikes.
Oh, Cherry.
I was like, "Oh shit!" She just fucking called. Where are the Africans?
Break your dick off.
It's frustrating. Oh god. All right. So then Fink gets the eye of the Jew. He's got the eye of the Jew. He's our anchor.
I hate this scene with a passion.
I do too. I really
chugging?
I don't like the losing.
Yeah.
Or I hate it because they lost. They fucking lost. This Eye of the Jew thing really didn't make a difference because end of the day, whether he had it or not, they only lost or they only won because he dripped a drop. Like he still didn't beat him. He still finished after the German.
It's legitly if you watch, it's dropped a drip, dog. I don't know. But if you watch their chronological drinking, like the Americans beat the Germans. USA beats the Germans
By a
through
smidge.
every person until Fink.
Yeah.
So,
but the scene that they have of him sucking down the boot, which was so like they could have done
all of them sucking down the boot. It was like, here's the fake lava or the fake purple stuff from Power Rangers movie coming and fucking oozing down in, and like.
But
I was thinking like
spin it, spin it, spin it. Kept yelling,
right?
spin it,
spin it, spin it,
spin it,
Yeah.
spin it.
Like the first time, I can remember the first time I saw that, I was pumped. I was like, "Fuck yeah, let's do it." Then after that, I'm like, "No, it's terrible."
Yeah.
Yeah. It just between the CGI of the beer going down, the fact that they really still didn't even like. I don't know. It's not a true.
Honestly,
win.
like the ending scene was
not
not,
a true
the
win.
greatest part of the movie.
Yeah. They
Kind
should
of
have
like a letdown.
If they would have, I would agree. If they would have won by a fucking landfill slide. But yeah, if they,
yeah, it's like a basketball game when you
landfill
lose
slide.
because the other team scored on their own basket. Like they won it for you. You know, it's just
And
You won
then
for someone's mistake.
you won by
and
default.
then the fact that
yeah.
and then the way he just hands over the key, it's like he's like, "You won." Tosses the key with a smile on his face. It's
Take
like,
my brewery.
it's like, bitch,
I don't know why they
your
didn't shoot him.
house.
I've killed
Well,
for
you
people.
just put a cap in these people. Yeah,
I've killed
why are
people
you
for
not-
less than this, but here's my key.
Yeah, a bet's a bet. You're right.
Maybe he's honest. I don't know.
He's not gonna be smiling about
He's
it though.
German.
No, they're really honest.
The Germans.
Germans. I'm really proud of all of us for not busting into the accent the entire episode. Good job.
Oh,
guys.
but we did. That's
not the entire.
It's frustrating.
Well, that's a line within itself.
But then the whole Willie Nelson. So, oh God, they're in Amsterdam, right? I love the ending scene. They're in Amsterdam, walking through. They're lost. They have no idea where the fucking. They run into Willie fucking Nelson.
Oh, Cheech and Chong didn't want to take a ride on my biodegradable fuel
Biodiesel,
airplane.
yeah, biodiesel.
Biodiesel airplane. You guys want to be my teammates?
I'm up in 20 minutes. Let's go smoke out. Yeah, it was. I remember watching that when I first saw, like, oh my God, we got a sequel. And, you know, to come find out, it's just like
a joke.
Yeah, I did see that they said that if they were to ever actually make the sequel, that it would probably end up being an animated movie. But, yeah, no. We've seen sequels come from this group, so let's just leave it at where it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One and done. You're fine.
Alright, y'all ready to get to the slice score?
All right.
Do it.
Slice it up. Bam, we gotta take that away. Cool.
Well, Brian says this is your pick.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Too Much Slice Meter. It's where we break down our movies here at Too Much Movie Night. And of course, Beerfest, we've got to figure out how good is this movie. Is this an 8-slice movie? Is this like creating the best beer of all time? Or is this a 0-slice movie? Is this absolute crap, like finding out your grandma is a whore? So, here tonight, this is my movie. Gam Gam, you got this. I support you. Tonight, this is my movie. I'm going to start us off. I'm going to bring the score. JJ, point
great
point
Gam
to Alyssa.
Gam.
I got it.
Gam Gam, because it says Gam Gam.
Yeah.
She's Gam Gam. She'd be great Gam Gam.
She chose that, though.
She did.
So
This is true.
kind of like digging your own grave.
So my score, where to go with this movie? Unfortunately, I think it's hard for me to give this movie a higher score than where I think I'm going to land. I love this movie. Ultimately, one of my favorites from the first time I watched it till the most recent time. It's a regular that's played in my house. Like I said, I think this movie is going to forever be nostalgic for me, just the memories that are ingrained. As Steve said, we've got a stupid WT, a college joke to go with just about every scene in here. There's memories just built along with this movie. Aged a bit, I think it has, but I think it's not enough where it's going to alter this movie. Not enough where it's going to take away. I think I can come back in 10 years and I'll still have the enjoyment for it. And I still think it'll hold up to maybe the newer generations as those Gen Z kids get old enough to watch a movie like this. And I still think it's going to be enjoyable. This group, love this group of guys. Super Troopers is one of my favorite comedies of all time as well. But it has its misses. There are parts of this movie that are, well... And for that, I have to dock it a little bit. It's just a touch longer than I want in a comedy. It's nonstop laughter, so I do think it's easy to jump right back into it after you've picked up your phone because you've kind of lost it, whether it be Landfill's death or whatever small little, the over-the-top under the bridge, as you brought up, Steve. This movie, though, where do I go? Not quite perfect movie. Just a little below. I'm going to go 6.5 slices on this absolutely frothy classic of a movie.
Ooh.
And movies, they have to have good head. You're talking the master up there, Mr. Slappin' Pickle. That man knows head. He will tell every bartender we have ever seen whether his head is good or not.
We were talking about Guinness. How you have to have a perfect pour.
So now every time JJ and I get beers, I'm like, JJ, how's my head?
Yeah.
But I say it loud so the whole bar can hear me.
It's been a joke that's gone on for about 15 years too long. And I've only known him for like 12. Anyway, Brian, 100%, you are correct. The nostalgia with this movie is absolutely, like, the roots run deep. Every time I watch it, like, actually, not even that. Anytime I quote it, I like rewatch the whole movie in my head. Like last week, whenever I was giving, and Steve and I were talking, it's so frustrating. I saw the entire movie in my head, and like I can't fully quote it, but damn near I can. Like it's one of those that it lives rent free. And no matter what, it doesn't age. The only thing I think that ages in this movie is the fact that Cherry takes the info away on a CD-ROM. That's really about it. I mean, everything else is pretty well up to date. I absolutely will watch this movie again. Brian, you're right. You can sit there and play on your phone, not miss a beat. You still know what's going on. It's easy to watch, easy to laugh at. Every joke is just funny. And I think 6.5 slices is spot on. 100%. We'll watch it. Great family movie night movie. Especially the unrated version. Boobs.
Boobs. Lots of boobs.
Steve.
Alyssa, you go next if you want to. I'll wrap it up.
I want to go last.
All right. Very well. So,
damn it, pick a spot, people.
I'll go next then. So, I may slightly disagree with you guys a little bit. This movie is so much fun. Whenever we announced this movie, I went back and watched it almost immediately. When we decided we were going to do this movie, I went back and watched it, and I watched it 2 more times since then. And every time it's like I'm rewatching it again. It's like a new thing. This isn't a movie that I see and I'm like, I'm done with it, because even though I know what's going to happen, I know where they're going in the end, but it's still fun every fucking time. Every time I see their scene when they're going to the college party and landfill fucking dancing, whatever it is, I have fun with this movie every time. And I will laugh at the same spots. I did for the past 2 weeks, watching it 3 times, laughed at the same spots again, and this is a great movie night movie. Now, some significant others may not like it because of the stupidity or whatever else that goes along with it. And that's kind of a tough thing. But I will say though, but it's not so crude that people can't enjoy it. But it's there. If people have any kind of sense of humor, they will find some fun in this. You enjoy having a drink. You enjoy having a beer. You went to college. Maybe you even spent 1 semester and failed out of college. It doesn't matter, right? You can kind of like see this. You hung out in high school and you drank your ass off with your friends. You can appreciate this movie. So there's a lot to it. Because of my slightly disagree with you guys, I have to give this movie a 7. As far as its watchability and rewatchability. So I'm going to go slightly higher, get to 7 for me.
7 it is.
Look at you with that wow factor. Leading in like your disagreement's going to be a lesser slice. Interesting.
Stole Alyssa's move. Son of a bitch.
Yeah. I think that you guys covered it pretty well. Like this movie is nostalgic for me. Like I associate it with a different time in life, right? Like there's no way I could be drinking the way that they're drinking in this movie, or like pre-gaming to this movie would hit different, because first off, pre-gaming doesn't exist anymore. And if we're going out at 10 o'clock, I'm bailing because I'm not going to go, because I was hoping to be home by 10:30. So this isn't like me watching this movie. I wouldn't watch it at the same time that I would maybe 10 years ago. But it's definitely got rewatchability for me. One, because nostalgia, but like you said, Steve, it's easy to laugh at. Like you're going to laugh at the same spots every time. I was trying to look up, never mind. I'm not going to say that. I was thinking about like this movie gives this feeling, and it's in the same areas like Happy Madison movies and, like the Seth Rogen crew, Jonah Hill, all of them, like they repeat movies with each other. I like that. If I'm going to watch a stupid comedy, I like knowing that there's chemistry, that there's a relationship with the cast members. And I like that in certain scenes, you're like, I don't think they wrote that. I think that was just, they ran with it and let it happen. And to me, that's just that's just who I am. I love that connection in a movie. It gives me a little bit more than just the movie that you're watching. I think that I am going to have more chick flicks in my options for movie night that would go along with this movie. So I don't know if I'm as high up there as you guys are, but for me, it's above average. And I think 5.5 is where I'm at with this movie.
Funny enough, I pre-filled it for you. I thought that's right where we were going.
Did you really?
What?
I did. So with my and JJ's 6.5 slices, Steve's 7, and Alyssa's 5.5, that's going to give us a 6.38 slices for Beerfest. Where does that fall, though? Everybody wants to know. Well, Brian, It's going to be tied in the 17th position. This movie is tied with Fury. It's better than Incredibles and True Romance, but not quite as good as Raiders of the Lost Ark, Dumb and Dumber, and The Departed. The Departed.
Yeah. I'd watch them in that order. The Departed, Beerfest.
Tied with Fury.
I definitely would.
Outside of Raiders of the Lost Ark, this is the highest movie we've had in a while.
This is true. Number 85. Look at us.
The next would be
knocking
number
down.
76, Groundhog's Day. Just a little below that.
Is it
I think it's-
Groundhog's Day or is it Groundhog Day? Are there multiple hogs?
I don't know. Is it hog?
The ground?
Well, it's
I
his
just say
day.
it fast.
It's a singular.
Groundhog Day.
It's
Groundhog
it's possessive because it's the
You're possessive.
Groundhog's Day,
Yeah, Groundhog's Day, not ground.
not multiple groundhog, but
Anyway,
possessive.
listeners, sorry you had to hear that.
We'll have the answer to that question next episode. So stay tuned.
On the edge of your seats, people. Goddamn.
Right. Well, we can't thank you enough for
I
coming to
can't
hang
wait.
out with us on Misfits Week. We knocked out another great comedy, Beerfest. As we saw, it finished up there at the top. Of course, if you want to make sure this podcast continues to move and thrive, hit us up with a review, share the podcast on Apple, Spotify, and of course on YouTube, where we're having all sorts of fun. And don't forget to check out the Patreon page, where we are taking a nice little something, and we'll hit whatever movie you want to do. Hit us up.
Drink us up, just like a beer. Cheers.